Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, where we bring you the best global books every day. Today, we're introducing the book The Genius on the Left, The Madman on the Right. This is China's first psychiatric patient interview collection. The subject of mental patients is particularly rare, as obtaining information from these special groups is extremely challenging. Author Gao Ming spent over 4 years visiting hospitals, psychiatric departments, and public security agencies during his free time, directly interacting with hundreds of mentally ill patients to create this exploration of their inner worlds. Within 12 months of publication, the book sold over 2 million copies, topping psychology charts on Ding and JD.com. So what's this book really about? How are mental patients connected to geniuses? Let's dive into the book now. The 330,000-word book documents 50 psychiatric patients' stories. While sharing these stories, I'll interpret the book through 3 perspectives. First, how do mental patients perceive the external world? Second, is there really a connection between genius and mental illness? Third, what insights does this book offer us? Let's start with the first question. How do mental patients view the external world? When imagining mental patients, people often picture disheveled figures with wild eyes and incoherent speech, dangerous individuals who might jump into rivers or commit random acts of violence. In short, they're seen as dangerous people we dare not approach. The mentally ill and personality disordered individuals portrayed in this book completely defy these stereotypes. Most aren't dangerous at all, and their perspectives on the world are surprisingly fresh and thought-provoking. We'll encounter patients who believe they're protagonists in novels, others who challenge conventional understandings of reality's nature, some who perceive visions invisible, and those living through endless reincarnations. These stories span fantasy, dreams, rebirth, shamanism, Mayan civilization, Taoist mysticism, rivaling the most imaginative novels. I'll introduce 4 representative types from these 50 stories to help understand the psychiatric world. Category 1. Patients with predominant thought disorders. Category 2. Patients with sensory and perceptual disorders. Category 3. Patients with primary memory disorders. Category 4. Misdiagnosed psychiatric cases. First, let's examine patients with completely different thought patterns and content. These individuals leave the deepest impressions in the book. The author aims to provide fresh perspectives by sharing their unique worldviews. I'll share 2 stories first. The 4-dimensional worm. This story features a 17-year-old boy. The boy claims communication with an absolute 4-dimensional being through nonverbal understanding. He studied relativity and quantum mechanics through English academic journals to comprehend this being. In his worldview, humans are temporal beings restricted by time's flow, while 4-dimensional beings reverse time. They exist beyond causal relationships. 4-dimensional beings perceive humans as elongated, worm-like creatures. We stretch from beds to streets, schools, offices, and shopping malls. Our actions vary across different stages. Temporally extended, we're worms with defined lifespans. 4-dimensional beings see our deaths before births, Time doesn't flow, we do. The second story, Time's End. This protagonist, a 60-year-old institutional veteran, is considered the hospital's treasure. His most remarkable trait is the infectious nature of his delusions. Originally sharing a ward with patients acting as sailors, novelists without writing tools, and alien abduction believers. He's been waiting 7 years. But his extraterrestrial compatriots never arrived. The old man constantly engages fellow patients in conversations. After 6 months, they stopped talking incoherently and began group discussions. Some conversants were discharged quickly. Others deteriorated, leading to the old man's eventual solitary confinement. Over a decade later, the old man thrives, eating, sleeping, and reading contentedly, while loneliness torments most. This elder seems to transcend it completely. How does he overcome loneliness? Why does impatience recover through him? The old man claims to take them to Time's End. He describes Time's End as gravitational equilibrium, accessible through consciousness. He believes consciousness originates biologically, but exists multidimensionally. The elder concludes, "The moment is eternity." These stories reveal classic thought disorder manifestations. Over half the book's subjects exhibit this pattern, like Beyond the Wall and Jelly World chapters. These characters rebuild where you through elaborate delusional systems. Some develop complex theories increasingly detached from reality. Their logic appears sound internally, but lacks scientific validation. These stubborn belief systems sometimes influence others dangerously. Now we examine patients with sensory perception differences. First story. Rain, Silently, poetically titled about continuous rainfall. This narrative follows an extremely reticent young woman. The author spent 7 months gaining her trust. She wears empty black eyeglass frames daily. The frames hide her secret. She wears them to filter out daily color visions. Every morning she sees hazy colors through her window, black, green, blue, yellow, each predicting the day's events. These colors predict the future. Pale gray means an uneventful day. Yellow signals unexpected events. Blue indicates good fortune. Pink foretells death, hence the frames to block these visions. On her grandmother's death day, the world turned blood red. Her grandmother shared this ability, teaching her to embrace blue-tinted rain. The girl cherishes rainy days when raindrops shimmer with her grandmother's blue. Our second story, Beasts of Field and Air. A seemingly normal 19-year-old girl perceives everyone as animals. "I know you think I'm ill," she says, "but I've always seen dual realities. Blurred vision shows animals. Focused vision shows people." Her mother appears as an irritable cat. Her father as a deep-sea fish. These cases demonstrate sensory perception disorders. Similar manifestations appear in chapters like Reality of Dreams and Time Thief. Distorted perceptions often lead to self-harm or dangerous behaviors. Now we explore memory disorders through 2 stories. First, on immortality features a successful 40-year-old tormented by reincarnation memories.
He claims to remember 40 to 50 reincarnations, vividly recalling each death. One life ended with beheading during wartime chaos. Another existence as a concubine, who was ostracized and poisoned. The visceral death memories cause him unbearable anguish. He desperately seeks fellow reincarnates for companionship, but remains isolated.
The second story, on reincarnation, features a man recalling his slave owner past. His memories shift between alien planets and non-human existences. These evolving memories feel like vivid yet unverifiable dreams.
He clings to unprovable memories that constantly transform.
Both cases exhibit classic memory disorder patterns, mutable yet persistent recollections.
These unstable memories bring profound loneliness and distress.
Finally, we examine misdiagnosed psychiatric cases. Most subjects show significant mental health impairments across 3 dimensions. Some cases challenge diagnostic boundaries. Their behaviors puzzle observers. Consider the taste of apple. Chapter 10. Police found the protagonist naked after month-long disappearance. He describes annual month-long retreats practiced for 4 years. During isolation, no electricity, only sleeping and basic sustenance. His meditation journey progresses from mental chaos to heightened clarity, reaching enlightenment stages where life's puzzles resolve themselves. Each retreat concludes with ritualistic apple tasting. When my teeth pierce the peel, that subtle freshness bursts through a threshold, flooding my mouth with intensifying flavor, he described. The juice erupts violently across parched taste buds as I chew, wild and untamed. Each flesh particle fractures urgently, unleashing cascades of apple essence. Peel and flesh fragments dance between teeth. Flavor, shock waves, electrifying every oral receptor. The apple's essence flows down my throat. My revitalized taste buds, reverently transmitting sensory data. All senses resurrect through this fruit's revelation. Doesn't this vivid description make your mouth water? This protagonist's practice aligns with mindfulness meditation. Scientific studies confirm mindfulness benefits blood pressure, depression, and chronic pain, now widely adopted in Western psychology. It enhances emotional regulation and sensory awareness effectively. We've outlined 4 psychiatric categories from the book's 50 cases. Category 1, thought-disordered patients, reconstructing reality through elaborate delusions. Their self-contained logical systems increasingly diverge from consensus reality. These internally consistent yet scientifically unvalidated belief systems. Category 2, sensory perception disorders, creating alternative realities. Distorted perceptions leading to dangerous misinterpretations. Some act upon these hallucinations with harmful consequences. Category 3, fluid memory disorders, generating unstable life narratives. These evolving false memories compound isolation and distress. Category 4, potential misdiagnoses of unconventional thinkers. cases challenging diagnostic boundaries through culturally misunderstood behaviors. This classification framework helps navigate the 50 clinical narratives. Now we address the core question: what's the genius-madness connection? The book's title, The Genius on the Left, The Madman on the Right, reflects the author's nuanced stance, neither fully endorsing their genius nor condemning them as mad. Yet we naturally wonder, what connects mental illness and genius? Can excessive thinking make one mentally ill? I'll address these questions through case studies and modern scientific research. First, the genius-madness relationship. Clearly, mental patients aren't equivalent to geniuses. Though some subjects display logical rigor and imagination, their ideas often crumble under scrutiny. The boy obsessed with four-dimensional beings performed poorly in quantum physics tests and failed dialogues with physicists. Truly, creative mental patients remain rare. Only a tiny fraction exhibit extraordinary talent. Conversely, geniuses often display eccentric tendencies. Van Gogh's self-mutilation. Beethoven's bipolar disorder diagnosis. Michelangelo suspected Asperger's. John Nash's schizophrenia, as depicted in A Beautiful Mind. Studies show higher rates of mental disorders among creative geniuses, though not causation. Second question: does overthinking cause mental illness? Contrary to misconceptions, mental illness stems not from excessive thinking, but from reality-detached cognition, reinforcing delusional worlds. Their isolated beliefs resist external verification or discussion. Excessive thinking doesn't cause mental illness, but delusions arise from reality, detached cognition, characteristic of schizophrenia. Summary: mental patients not equal, geniuses view, possess real talent. Their disorders stem from reality, divorced thinking, not overthinking. This leads to our third insight. How should we perceive and interact with mental patients? First, the book provokes contemplation of life's meaning through two stories. Story 1, Life's End, features a former teacher who crouched in damp corners wearing black raincoat and floral umbrella, using Milton Erickson's hypnosis techniques. The author spent weeks crouching with him to gain trust. He proposed loose life theory, ant colonies, and stones as advanced life forms through collective consciousness. To stones: humans live too fast. Our buildings collapse within centuries, mere moments in geological time. This cosmic perspective relativizes human suffering across geological timescales. Anxieties diminish when viewed through stone's million-year lens. We realize life's brevity demands authentic living over endless struggles. Story 2, The Unceasing Heart. A recovered 50-year-old biologist shared his schizophrenia experience during research on fractal geometry.
From 3741, he suffered intense hallucinations linked to his biological fractal studies. Constant visions of clones measuring objects and auditory torment plagued him.
When hallucination ceased, he realized humanity's essence. Horses run, fish swim, birds fly, without questioning why. Humans may not surpass them, but we seek answers.
Life deep matters less than honoring existence, nobility less crucial than self-respect. This embodies psychology's ultimate goal of self-actualization, self-acceptance, and authentic living.
A second revelation: treat mental patients with fundamental equality. Example: the quantum-obsessed youth from four-dimensional worm required 7 failed attempts and physicist consultation for successful interview. The girl from Rain, silently, needed 7 months of persistent courtship-like engagement to establish trust. Daily interactions require shedding prejudiced perspectives, engaging patients as equals. Third insight: emotional bonds with loved ones prove crucial for rehabilitation.
The biologist from Unceasing Heart credited his recovery to family support, wife's devotion, and children's accommodation.
This advocates not blind home care, but emphasizes love's therapeutic power. Book's core revelations: 1. Honor authentic existence. 2. Equal treatment. 3. Familial love as healing catalyst. Final summary points. 1. 4 psychiatric perspectives: thought, sensory, memory disorders, misdiagnosis. 2. Genius mental illness, distinction, rare overlap, rooted in reality, divorced cognition. 3. Treatment essentials: equal respect, emotional connection, existential reflection. This concludes our analysis of The Genius on the left, The Madman on the right. Essential notes available below audio.